Hello, this is Tim from Carus. We're here today in Rockford, Illinois. We're discussing some products that Carus supplies the city of Rockford. In particular, Carusol sodium permanganate 20%, as well as manganese sulfate solution, manganese S. And those two are used for obviously the reduction of radium in their water wells. And in addition to that too, they use our corrosion inhibitor called Aquamag and Carus 8400. That's used for corrosion control and sequestering for wells. Okay, and we have Mr. Kyle Saunders here for the city of Rockford. He is the Director of Public Works. Can you just briefly explain to the distribution system and how the network is formed in the water system?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Tim. So, City of Rockford, we have 815 miles of water main spread throughout our city. We operate 4 different hydraulic pressure zones, and we have 25 kind of remote unit well facilities. Within those facilities is where the treatment obviously lies. We have 6 radium treatment plants where, similar to what you mentioned, we're using sodium permanganate and manganese sulfate,
Yes.
And we're batching those into a 1% day tank solution. At our other 5 treatment facilities, we use pressure filters to remove iron and manganese. In those facilities, as well as our other, we call them non-treatment facilities, we're feeding chlorine, fluoride, and phosphate. So obviously chlorine for disinfection, fluoride for dental health, and then that polyphosphate for, like you mentioned, either corrosion control or iron and manganese sequestration.
Right. Can you tell us a little bit about the mitigation of rating with the 2 products?
Yeah.
I would assume we're in compliance at this point. I think we started around 2008 or 9. Is that correct?
Yeah, we're in full compliance. Obviously, 2008. In years prior, the MCL was changed significantly. So Rockford was tasked with coming into compliance with the new 5 picocurie per liter rule. At that point, we designed 5 radium treatment plants. It was new for Rockford, right? When we built these plants, we were going from the traditional chlorine, fluoride, and phosphate, very small footprint facility, to a rather large pressure filter, complex kind of chemical treatment feeding system. So, with the combination of VFDs and flow pacing, we kind of stepped into that next century in terms of water treatment.
That's great. So, in addition to the radionuclide mitigation, we also have the corrosion control, which is the Carusol, the Aquamag, as well as the 8400. And I'm assuming we're in compliance as well as there.
Yeah, no, again, we're really proud of the water that we obviously pump and distribute in Rockford. As you mentioned, Carus was a partner of us when we originally did our optimal corrosion control treatment plan. So we've been feeding the combination of either 8400 or that Aquamag solution throughout our system.
So I guess as a value point, obviously we do have a high value here. We've been here for greater than 15 years. How do you feel we're doing so far?
Yeah, Carus is doing a great job. We really value the partnership that we have. At Rockford Water, just seeing how big we are, finding vendors and contractors that we can rely on a day-to-day basis is paramount. Carus is definitely one of the contractors that we really rely on, whether it be our treatment plant operators calling you direct to kind of make sure that our dose settings are dialed in, or whether it be working with other staff to dial in QA QC on our radium treatment. It's something that obviously we value a lot in Rockford.
That's fantastic. Just a couple more comments, especially Carus. How do you choose Carus? Is it by committee or is it by the whole administration?
So it's kind of by administration and by committee, right?
Okay.
It's the entire Rockford Water team. So obviously with the demonstrated track record that Carus has, we're really confident in the products that you guys provide. We obviously value the safe, plentiful, and desirable drinking water that we distribute to our customers. So it's a relationship that obviously we rely on, and we don't see any significant changes in the future.
Great. As far as corrosion control, I think you said before we're in compliance, but obviously the goal for especially lead is 0. And I just want to touch a base on your lead replacement program. It seems like you were able to get some funding, not only as well as locally, but also in government. If we could just elaborate on it, that would be great.
Yeah, so in Rockford, we're really excited. We're kind of doing this on 2 fronts. We're doing it with a combination of fund equity, so Rockford Water operating user fees, but then also state revolving loan funds. So in Rockford, we qualify for up to $2 million, 100% principal forgiveness. and we worked creatively with the EPA on a program that addresses high-risk lead service lines. In Rockford, given obviously we have 14,000 known lead service lines, we're a pretty large community. We identified that just kind of the point-and-shoot inventory-based approach wasn't the best for us.
I see.
There are some communities that works for, right? If you don't have as many lead service lines, or if you don't have the aged infrastructure that we have, you can tackle it from a inventory-based approach. For us, as I mentioned, we got early to the table with the EPA and said, hey, we'd really like to propose a three-prong approach. We're looking at service lines that are disturbed through service leaks and maintenance activities, service lines that would otherwise be partial replacements tied to infrastructure replacement efforts, and then finally kind of that service line that, when those other two conditions are met, is just identified on a map. So
Fantastic.
When it comes to partial lead service line replacements, obviously Rockford's taken a strong stance against that. So
Great. Lastly, I'd like to touch upon, we have a sales service program, and obviously we serve you throughout these years. How do you value that sales service program?
We value it tremendously. It's something that each year when that program comes up, it's something that's usually an easy decision for us at Rockford Water.
Right.
So when we look at all the chemical, feed and the treatment products that we have here, it's really easy to select Carus, and it's really easy to keep that partnership going. So
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much, Kyle. We really appreciate it and look forward to being a partnership in the future.
absolutely, thank you so much.
You.